now we're gonna talk about namers tell me more. Obviously, what word tells more about the namer? It's an adjective. And what is a function of an adjective? It answers 3 questions: how many, what kind, and which one. And you can see in this table that you can answer those questions with a single word or a phrase or a clause. So it can be an adjectival, it could be an adjective, it can be an adjectival phrase or an adjectival clause. Again, that's not necessarily important for the kids to know that terminology, but it's important for you to know that we want kids to use those phrases to describe, which one, which boy. It was the boy next to the home plate, the boy who lived next door, the jacket that has big pockets, because those words are descriptive. And I'm going to show you another video of a first grade classroom, and the teacher does a nice job of explaining this to her students, so you can see what this might look like in action.
Today you're going to learn how to take your simple sentences and expand them and make them bigger and juicier to help the reader create a picture in their mind. So if you look at this little girl, you see she has like a little thought bubble. What is she picturing in her mind, Daniel? Yeah, she's picturing that you think that that's her, that she's riding a horse, and that is going to be shown in her writing. So when we write, we're actually causing the reader to create those mental pictures in their mind. And if we use just simple sentences, it's really hard for the reader to do that. You want to make your sentences big and make them juicy. So who can try to come up with a simple sentence? Remember, a namer is a noun. It's a person, place, or thing. And an action is what that namer is doing, the action in the sentence. Who can tell me just the namer? Brayden, what's the namer for this?
A goldfish.
A goldfish. And I love that he was really specific. He didn't just say a fish, he said a goldfish, because that's already helping me make mental images in my mind of your sentence. What's the action that this fish is doing, Callie?
Swimming.
The fish is swimming, right? The fish is swimming. Can anyone put that and tell me the whole simple sentence, Giselle?
The goldfish is swimming.
The goldfish is swimming. Now, Brayden did a great job of saying goldfish. He already expanded his sentence by saying what kind of fish. You can do it in 3 different ways. So in this example, we use dogs. You could talk about how many dogs. You can talk about what kind of dog, so the big dog or the small dog, or you could talk about which dog. The dog laying by the tree or the dog on a leash. But today, we're only going to focus on what kind. And there's many different ways you can talk about what kind. And we've been studying adjectives in first grade. And adjectives describe a noun. It could describe the color of a noun, the size, the texture, the age, and the shape. I would like you to talk and brainstorm with your partner.
Oh, it's fine.
What colors? Okay. So look at all of these words that we have in our juicy word bank. Now it's time to take that knowledge and apply it to sentences. Let's look at this namer. What is this? What is the namer for this picture? Louis?
A wolf.
A wolf. So can you give me a simple sentence with just a namer and an action? The wolf is, well, does he look like he's walking or maybe a little bit faster? You could sprinting, that's a juicy word. So the wolf is sprinting. Now, we are going to do something called color coding. There you go, perfect. Okay, now we're going to add in a describing word. We're going to describe what kind of wolf this is. What kind of words can we use to describe what kind of wolf this is? Arctic? Oh, wow, yeah. Because why do you think it's in the Arctic? Yeah, so we can add an adjective in purple. The Arctic wolf is sprinting. So I'm keeping the same simple sentence, but I'm just adding some describing words to say what kind of wolf we're talking about. So which word is the adjective in this sentence? Arctic, good. Now we want to expand our sentence even more. We want to say more about this wolf because we can use so many words to describe him. Yeah, so we could say the furry Arctic wolf is sprinting. So your job at your seat is going to be looking at these three pictures. We're going to come up with the simple sentences ourselves. Your job is to expand them and make them juicier. And then we're going to share, because everyone's sentences are going to be different. So let's go over our directions. The first thing you're going to do is copy the simple sentence for each picture. Then you're going to do another sentence by adding one adjective. Then you're going to do another sentence and you're going to add two adjectives. Good. Then you're going to color code the namer, action, and adjective. Red, green, okay? Then you're going to choose one sentence, whichever was your favorite, to illustrate it. And then we're going to come back and we're going to share some of our juicy, juicy sentences. What do you want to know? I mean, do you have any adjectives yet? No, so in the simple sentence, what do you want to know? And the. Perfect. Can you read just about your elephant? Just your sentences about your elephant. Okay, do you want to stand up?
Okay.
Nice big voice.
The elephant is brave. The big elephant is brave. The big gray elephant is brave.
So we also described the size, right? The size is fun to do for the elephant because they're so big. He also described what? What else did you describe about the elephant? The size and the color. He talked about how the color was gray. So each of the friends that shared had something different to say about the elephant. They all talked about the size, but Ella talked about the age. One talked about where they thought the elephant was from, and Callie, one talked about the color. So can we give all of ourselves a pat back?
I like how Gail walked them through what adjectives are, what they do, and the word bank, which was really great. But you can start this activity getting kids to tell more about the name or the noun with pictures. So who did what? And you know, the kids can just tell this orally. The butterflies flutter. How many butterflies? 3 butterflies, right? 3 butterflies fluttered or flew, whatever word you want. What kind of butterflies? Monarch butterflies fluttered. So you just use the sticky notes as a way to get that point across. Butterflies with colorful wings fluttered. So there's, you know, important to do this orally. We also want to identify this action verb within the phrases and clauses because we've talked about these adjectival phrases and adjectival clauses. So we have dozens of flowers, many butterflies, what kind, ruby red, delicate. And again, which one? Now we're going to answer that question with an adjectival phrase, right? Which eggs? The eggs on the leaf. Which garden? The garden by the house. Because it's this whole phrase that actually tells more or describes the noun or the namer. And again, really doing this kind of explicit instruction and deliberate practice with adjective types, I think, is really effective because adjectives can be classified the way Gail did in the video in these various ways. And then once you have your students brainstorm all of these adjectives based on these categories, then you can ask them to add the adjectives to a specific noun or namer.